All right, we've got a lot to go over today, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. We'll continue admitting people as they join, but it looks like we've got a good group here with us already today. So welcome everybody to this BBB webinar on how to manage your online reputation. Today we're going to go over the importance of customer reviews, how to manage and respond to those reviews, and also how to ask for reviews to encourage more positive feedback on your organization by your customers. A few housekeeping items really quick before we get started. I'm sure most of you have been through a trillion Zoom meetings, so you probably know what you're doing. But just in case, we do have a few newbies. First of all, this webinar is being recorded. And then, of course, you can mute and unmute yourself if you'd like to participate in any questions in the lower left-hand corner, as well as sharing your video. Certainly not required to share your video, but if you would like to, we are happy to see some smiling faces here with us today. And we would like this to be interactive. I want to make sure to answer all of your questions today. We also have a few poll questions, so look for that. Don't hesitate to put questions in the chat function here. My colleague Erica Fesky is helping me today to admit people as they come in, to manage the chat function, and help me answer all of your questions. So please don't hesitate to ask either verbally or through the chat. Let's see. Oh, also in the chat function, so that'll be on the, if you're on desktop, on the bottom kind of center, you can pull up the chat box. I put in there 2 handouts today. So there's a Better Business briefing that has some information that's very timely, some stuff that just came out last week about customer reviews and the importance of customer reviews. And then also the BBB review tips. And this handout really talks about a lot of the kind of bullet points of the things that I'm going through today. So hopefully that'll help you. No need to take notes or anything like that. It's a nice little organized bulleted list for you in there. All right, let's see. Am I forgetting anything? I think that's it. All right, so let's get started right away today. First of all, I should properly introduce myself. My name is Julie Albrecht. I'm the Director of Marketing and Communications here at your Better Business Bureau, serving the state of Wisconsin. I've been working for BBB since 2013, and my goal all along, and BBB's goal really, is to educate and inform people throughout the state of Wisconsin about BBB services to the public, both consumers and businesses. And as part of my role here at BBB, I actually manage our online reputation here in Wisconsin. So I'm in the unique position to present this information on behalf of BBB, but also I can offer some specific examples and really firsthand experience on this topic. So as I mentioned also on the meeting today is my colleague Erica Fesky. She's our social media and marketing specialist. So she's helping me to manage any questions and any technical needs we might have today. So you want to say hi, Erica?
Hi, everybody. It's good to be here. Good to see everybody. Thank you for joining us today. And yeah, feel free to just answer your questions in the chat box. I'll interrupt Julie if it seems like it's a timely question to ask, or we'll kind of go over them at the end. Does anybody have any questions about the handouts? I see one attendee doesn't see them. Is anybody else having issues viewing the handouts?
I think most people can see them, it looks like. We can always, oh, you guys aren't seeing them, huh? Let's see. They should be files attached to the top of the chat box. Let me see, maybe I can share those again. I probably shared them before the meeting actually started. So maybe if I share them right now, you guys will see that. Excuse me. So take a look in the chat box and let me see if you see 2 PDFs. Oh yeah, I see they're there now. Awesome. Sorry about that. Thank you. Thanks for letting us know, you guys. That's great. And you all know how to use the chat function. Now I see proof, so that's great. All right, so let's get started right away. I see that you already know how to use the chat function, but I want to do a poll really quick, a really easy one. It's not a hard quiz first thing in the morning here. But just wondering, is your business a BBB accredited business? So if you're representing an accredited business, I see a couple people I know from other Better Business Bureaus are joining me. Hopefully some of their accredited businesses are on with us today as well. So I just like to get a little bit of a gauge. Let me know if you are joining on behalf of a BBB accredited business. And I only have yes or no. I don't have a don't know. So I guess if you don't know, put it in the chat and we can find out for you. I've gotten that before where people come to me and like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm accredited or not. Well, we can help. We can help you with that. All right, awesome. So this is the poll function. I'll use it a couple times here and there. We're just trying to, keep it more interactive, keep you guys awake and here with me today. So I'll end the poll and share results. It looks like about 76% of you guys are representing BBB accredited businesses. So thank you for your support and welcome today. And then 24% are not. So if you guys have any questions or interested in what accreditation is or questions about it, feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is on the slide and I'll be sharing that with you in the chat function later, as well as another slide later on. Okay, so now that we know how to use the poll, it looks like a few of you know how to use the chat, but if you guys could put something in the chat right now, if you don't want to share anything, just say hi, or let me know what's one thing that you want to learn today. Give me a takeaway. Why did you join today? What are you looking to gain? I want to make sure that you get the most out of this. I understand. I personally have 7 webinars today, including this one. So I understand that there are so many webinars and there's so many of these virtual events, and they're really great and beneficial, but I want to make sure that you really gain value from this today, and it's not just another webinar that you're listening to. So I see some things coming in. Great. Methods for obtaining customer reviews. Like to hear some best practices, how to get more reviews. We'll definitely cover that. That's great. Thank you guys. So feel free to put stuff in there. Erica's going to help me manage that, make sure that we can go ahead and answer all your questions, and whatever are the things that you want to learn today, that we actually talk about that. So awesome. Thank you guys. So you've already accomplished something today. You know how to use Zoom polls and you know how to use Zoom chat. So good job. Don't say you didn't do anything today. All right, so I'll go over what we're going to cover today. So today we're going to be really reviewing some key statistics and facts related to online customer reviews. We're going to talk about how to manage and respond to reviews, how to ask your customers for reviews, and we're going to go over 4 specific online customer review platforms. Although there are certainly many more, these are some of the most popular, though that can also depend on your industry. So we'll talk about that as well. So that's BBB, Google, Yelp, Facebook, as I put here. All right, and if you guys want me to go through other things with you, or again, if you have questions, let's talk after the presentation. I'm happy to set up calls or video chats or just email back and forth about this stuff. So I'm here for you if you need anything. All right, customer reviews are important. Hopefully you know that already, and that's why you're here. But they really are truly important. So let's talk about why specifically they are important. First, people read reviews before they make a purchase. This has never been more true than it is right now. Depending on the source of the survey you look at, I saw a couple of surveys and a few different percentages when I was preparing for this today, but anywhere between 82 to 97% of consumers read reviews for local businesses, and 95% of people aged 18 to 34 read reviews. So that's huge right there. I mean, first of all, if you don't have any reviews on your business, you got to get to it. And we'll talk about how you can do that here today. And also, customers read a lot of reviews. So an average of 10 before they feel they can really trust your business. So let me ask you this question. Do you have 10 reviews online right now? Just something to think about. Many people think that personal recommendations or word of mouth is one of the most important aspects of your business's reputation. And while that is important, young people actually trust online reviews just as much as personal recommendations. So this age group is really the future of our economy and maintain a huge portion of buying power and future buying power. 53% of consumers will only use a business if it has 4 or more stars. Many people think that, people only take the time to leave negative reviews. And while there is some truth to that, that's exactly why you, as the business owner or business representative, have to encourage people to leave positive reviews in order to offset anything negative. So we'll talk more later on about how to ask for reviews. Another important aspect we're going to touch on is responding to reviews. 89% of consumers read the business's response to those online reviews. So it's really crucial to respond. And another point for how important it is to ask your customers, 76% of consumers will leave a review if asked. So sometimes all you have to do is ask. All right, so let's take a really quick, brief moment away from these hard facts and look at some fun examples. First, I'm going to check the chat here today. Erica, is there anything I should get to right away?
I have one question from Kristen asking, when you say consumers, does that include business to business?
Good question. So I put on, let me go back a little bit. I put on here some of my sources. Of course, all business owners are also consumers. So in a way, yes, but a lot of these are kind of consumer focused stats. That's a really great question. So they are consumer focused. However, all business owners are also consumers. So, and some might argue that business owners are going to do a little bit more research on vendors that they use or other businesses that they use than a consumer might. Great questions.
Yeah.
All right. So let's look at some fun stuff. Hopefully we'll get some laughs. Okay. So some online reviews are just here to entertain us. As you can see, this one says, "Do not buy this book." You can see the ending right on the cover. And of course, it's a children's book that says, "Where is baby's belly button?" And you can see the belly button right there. So I'll let you guys kind of read through this, but the reviewer is quite the critic of this children's book. And this is a 1-star review. So it's really having a negative impact on the business's star rating. But what the business can do is formulate an equally sort of silly response. And since we just talked about this stat, 89% of consumers read the business's response to reviews, they can really see the fun spirit. And therefore, even though it's technically a negative review, it will have a positive effect on your business's online reputation. So kind of, there's a lot of funny reviews out there. You could probably spend hours looking at websites on these things, but especially on Amazon. But just a good thing to point out that sometimes there are like silly reviews and it might be negative, and then you're like, annoyed as the business owner that they left a 1-star review. But don't worry, it's really about how you respond as the business. Another example of a negative 1-star review that's actually positive. This person said, "Don't try the pizza. It's so good. You'll come back every day, and it completely ruined my social life because each night I want to go there. I hate this place." So again, people are likely to read the extremes of your reviews. So the 5-star reviews, the really good ones, and then the 1-stars that are bad. Less people tend to, if you have a lot of reviews on your business, they're not going to read the 3s and 4s quite as much. So this is a really fantastic 1-star review from that perspective, because if people are reading the 5-star and then they go to read the 1-star, well, this person left a 1-star review, but it really was a positive comment. And then my favorite useful gift here, the portable pizza pouch. So this is a really excellent example of a point I'm going to emphasize throughout this presentation. And this might be controversial here, so I'm going to apologize in advance, but most consumers are actually intelligent enough to determine if the reviewer is the silly one in the mix, or if it's the business, because we all know sometimes businesses can be in the wrong and a lot of times consumers can be in the wrong too. So you just really have to trust that your potential customers are savvy. And if they're taking the time to read these reviews, they can accurately judge if it's the consumer or the business that's in the wrong, so to speak.
Julie, I have a couple questions that might be pretty timely.
Okay, yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah. Wendy would like to know if everyone should respond to positive reviews in addition to negative reviews.
Yes, great question. The answer is yes, and I will talk about that more a little bit later. Any other questions?
We have some about removing reviews or responding to reviews that are unrelated to the product.
Yes, and you should be able to do that on most platforms except Facebook. So again, I'm going to go through that a little bit later. Facebook is kind of all or nothing though. You either don't allow 0 reviews or you allow all reviews. There is no in between. It's really extreme there. But Yelp, Google, BBB, all of these, you can remove reviews. Some platforms are easier to do that than others, and there have to be really specific reasons why. You can't just say, oh, they left a negative review and I don't want that. If it was a legitimate experience, then it's still going to be posted. So I will talk more in detail about that later. Great questions. Okay, moving on here. This one just made me laugh, so I had to put it in here. This person, Abe L, posted a 2-star, that's interesting, 2-star review on Ford's Theater, said was murdered here, would not recommend. So the funniest part to me is that it's a 2-star review. He was murdered here, so obviously had the worst possible experience, but it's still a nice theater, so he doesn't want to only give it 1 star, maybe. I just thought this was a funny thing that I had to put in there to give you a laugh. All right, let's get into the real takeaways here. First, let's talk about how to manage and respond to your online reviews. So first, set up Google Alerts to monitor them. Anytime anybody mentions your name, your products, etc., an alert can be set up so that an email is sent when a new review comes in or consumers talk about your business's product or service. Keep track about what others are posting about your business, and this is a really good way to do that. Let's see. I'm going to bring this up really quick. Erica, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Google Alerts. Okay, awesome. Google.com/alerts. Super easy. You can see the ones that I have set up here for BBB. Also scams that happen in the local areas, the local markets. My name, I want to see personally when people mention my name in articles or things like that. Might not work so well if your name is like John Smith or something really common, because then you'll get them all the time. For me, I have a somewhat uncommon name. Kazabucky is my maiden name, so I have that in there too in case that ever comes up. So good thing to do personally as well as professionally for your business. Consumers really like to see both sides. So negative reviews are not all bad. 68% of consumers trust reviews more when they see both the good and the bad. 52% of buyers say that they trust a product more if they have a few negative reviews of their product. So don't worry, don't get so frustrated when you get a negative review. It's an opportunity, it's really not a problem. It is natural and okay to have those reviews online. Most consumers totally understand, and they're really more concerned with how you respond to somebody's negative experience than they are with the negative review itself. Each and every review, good and bad, deserves a response because they are equally as helpful to your business. They truly are. It's important that you respond timely, appropriately, and with a first-person perspective. So over 55% of survey respondents in a recent survey expect a business to reply to a review within 1 day, and over 30% expect a response within 3 days. So that means 85% of people expect a response within 3 days. So it's really important. People have this expectation out there. It's important that you are responding in a timely manner. But keep in mind too that 75% of businesses don't respond to any of their reviews. So 85% of people expect a response within 3 days, but 75% of businesses don't respond to any of their reviews. A few more stats for you, if that didn't get your attention, about how important this stuff is. Businesses that respond to even just 1 review earn 4% more on average. Businesses that don't reply to any reviews earn 9% less revenue. This is revenue based on average. And don't forget, 89% of consumers read local businesses' response to reviews. So it's important. I can't emphasize it enough. It's important for you to respond. All right, quick poll question really quick here. Let's see if I can launch this. Apologies for the delay here. All right, let's go. All right, my question, and I'll bring this up first. People spend up to what % more money at businesses that reply to reviews? So I mentioned on Avenue that they earn a certain percentage more, but, oh, and it looks like it's not, I don't want to push that. So good, I'm getting some responses in here. People spend up to what % more money at businesses that reply to reviews? So I didn't give you this answer already, but let's see if you guys know. 61%, 49%, 25%, 38%. You guys are all over the map here. Interesting. All right, I'll give you a couple more seconds. Respond to that poll, please, if you have not already and you'd like to. All right. Okay, so most of you said 61%, followed by 49, 25, and then 38. So let's see, most people said 61%. Let's see if that's right. Oops. Man, drum roll please. So people spend up to 49% more money at businesses that reply to reviews. So obviously responses are important. You know, almost 50% more money. Wouldn't every business like that, right? So that's huge. You really need to make sure that you're responding to the reviews here. All right, we did another poll. Good job. You did another thing today. When you're responding to reviews online, you really need to take the time to decide what your brand voice is going to be. So that's really the essence of your voice when you're talking to people, whether that's your current or potential customers. It's really important to choose a brand voice that is unique and reflects your culture and personality. This is how people are going to remember you, and this reflects your reputation directly. Be human. Customer reviews are like people. They're all different, unique, sharing individual experiences and opinions. So be genuine, respond professionally to reviews, and try to avoid these canned responses or corporate speak. At BBB, for example, it's super easy for us to just copy and paste the same old response to any consumer reaching out to us about an issue with a business. You know, instead of saying something like, "Hello, thank you for your inquiry. Please fill out the BBB complaint form here," which is really what we need to do. We usually try to say something like, "Hi, Jill, we're so sorry to hear about your bad experience that you had last week with XYZ business. It sounds like you have already reached out to them to try to resolve the issue, so we'd love the opportunity to step in and help you. The first step is going to be for us to, for you to give us the information in writing, and I can provide the link to our complaint form there. And then we will reach out to your business and help to be the neutral third-party intermediary to go back and forth until we can help to assist you with a mutually beneficial resolution. If you have any questions along the way, we're here to help you." So obviously that's more genuine, it's more personal. I said her name, I talked about specifics. The issue happened last week I named the business, you know, being really specific and genuine and talking to the person as you talk to a person via the review response is really important. Because that's how you talk to them in person, and that's how people expect to be treated online as well. This is a big takeaway a lot of times when we talk to especially small business owners, when you really put your blood, sweat, and tears into your business. It's easy to take what someone is saying about your business personally and as if they're trying to insult you. Remember, this is someone's opinion on their interaction with your business. It's not personal. So how you react to other people's opinions says a lot about you and your business. So be careful, take some time, and stay calm with your response. A business's response to a customer review displays their genuine appreciation of the customer's business and the extent to which they want to develop long-lasting relationships with every customer. Another reason not to fret about a bad review or a customer complaint: resolve the complaint in the customer's favor and they will do business with you again 70% of the time. So it's not always about the issues that come up. There's always going to be issues. There's always going to be negativity, negative people, people that just want to complain, or sometimes you screw up and make a mistake. We're all human. But it's really about how you respond and react to those issues that truly make the difference. Okay, I'm going to go through just a few. I want to make sure to stay on track with time here, but I want to go through a few examples of some business responses to online reviews. So take a look at this. Erica, tell me, can you read this okay? Is it too small? Okay, you can see it. Hopefully you guys can kind of read through this. I don't want to take the time to read through the whole review, but this business, if you kind of skim through it, they obviously convey anger and frustration in their response. They say, and I quote, "We do not appreciate the attitude of trying to belittle us." They're saying this to a customer, and the customer is very appropriate in their response. They're very fact-based, and then the business responds really emotionally. And as a consumer, so if I'm looking to do business with the same business and I'm reading this review, first, I'm going to be worried about not receiving a refund if I didn't get the product or service I was promised, because this business seems to be very, very unwilling to work with the consumer and provide a refund. But second, I'd be really worried about the business representatives becoming unnecessarily angry with me as a result, because just by the calm nature of this customer's their request, really, for a refund, and then the business comes back with like a pretty angry, frustrated response, it doesn't equal up. They're getting angry, they're letting their emotions take over, and that's what you do not want to do. Here's another example of just a nice positive review. And then the person responded pretty timely here. So they just say, "Thank you for the nice comments. It was a pleasure working with you and Todd." So the response is short, but it's personal and it thanks the customer. When people take time out of their day to comment publicly on a public forum how well your business did, whether you did the job really well or you just treated them really well, oops, sorry about that. That's really a huge compliment, and it should always be acknowledged. So even if it's short, just say thank you, because they took the time out of their day and they had a really good experience with your business, and that's immensely valuable in many ways. All right, last one here. So not only is this a good response because they solved the customer's problem effectively, also notice the timestamps on here. So the business responds and takes action on this within 24 hours. Response time really does make a difference to your customer's experience. Be responsive is one of the Better Business Bureau standards for trust. And these are the standards that make up our code of business practices, which all of you, I think 76% of you BBB accredited businesses must abide by. So at the end of the day, it's really just part of human decency and showing your customers that you care about them. Respond and respond as quickly as you can. All right, so engaging your customers. A customer with a good experience may just let you know in person, over the phone, or in an email, but that's the time when you need to ask. Ask them to share their experience in an online review. So let's talk now about how to ask for reviews. I'm going to take a quick sip here. Give me a sec. Thank you. All right, so first, don't be afraid to ask. So many people are just scared to ask their customers, especially if they mention like, "Thank you, you guys did a great job," or "Thank you, I'm so happy with this." Just be direct. Tell customers that their feedback and their opinions are important to you. So let me ask you, do you guys ask for reviews? Let me look in the chat here. Oh, Heather said, on the other side, I have had accredited businesses call me super mad about a customer's review that we sent to them, and I advise they actually wait a day. Oh, that's true. That's a good point. Thank you, Heather. I really appreciate you mentioning that, because yes, as a business owner, especially if it's just you, when you get a negative review, you're going to be mad. You're going to be angry. You're going to be scared, stressed, anxious. And so responding immediately is usually when you're going to have that stress and anger conveyed in the review. So if you do feel a little flustered, a little angry, start getting warm, you get tense, definitely a good idea to wait a little while. So it's better to have a proper, appropriate response to a review than it is to just respond super timely. Okay, so a few people say yes, they do ask for reviews. One or two here say no. Okay, and we're gonna go. Somebody says, "Oh, Kristen, thank you. We try to capture them from customers, but do not actively ask. It's more reactive based on a positive email." That's a great way to do it too, if it can kind of be a one-on-one type thing. Great, good to know, and we'll talk more about how to ask here. So using visual and verbal reminders is a great way to ask for reviews. You can do it at the end of service with either a follow-up email, a postcard, a sticker on the receipt, or automatically printed on a receipt, depending on your type of business, of course, or the invoice. You can put a link to leave a review in your email signature. So if you're emailing with customers a lot, or whoever on your staff might be the most interactive with your current customers or recently past customers, if they already purchased your product or service, put it in the email signature. You can put a sign at your store location, and also training your employees, if you have multiple employees, for them to ask, because they might be interacting with your customers, your clients on a more regular basis. So training is an important aspect here as well. Make it easy, brand it. So for example, BBB has a customer review toolkit. So that's going to include email signatures, graphics, stickers, window clings, postcards, social media posts, signs, more. We've got all that stuff for you if you want to encourage people to leave reviews on your BBB business profile. But you can also create your own company branded materials that are going to encourage people to leave a review. And one important thing I do want to mention here, so in general, BBB does not recommend using incentives such as gift cards for reviews. So while that method can definitely be effective for encouraging people to leave reviews, it can also create a kind of ethical gray area. You especially don't want to say things like, we'll give you 25% off if you leave a positive review. That really inaccurately skews your real customer experiences. And I am not a legal expert by any means, but it can also definitely introduce a legality issue if you're in violation with any FTC regulations. They do have regulations on incentivized reviews, so just be careful there. It's good to encourage people to leave reviews, but giving them something in exchange for a review is usually not a great idea. Wouldn't recommend that. Positive reviews can equal more customers. So the more customers you have, the more likely you'll stay in business for those to enjoy your company. So it's really in the customer's best interest, especially if you have repeat customers, to leave a positive review. So let's talk about where consumers can leave reviews. There are lots of options. Some are really specific to certain industries, and some are for all industries. So since we have a lot of people today that have joined from a lot of different industries, I'm going to try to be a little bit more broad. Obviously, home advisor is going to be more like the contractor-based businesses. Yelp tends to be a lot of like restaurants and things like that. So TripAdvisor, if you're in the hospitality industry, things like that. So we're going to go through specifically. Ooh, I might have these in a different order than I thought. That's all right. So we're going to go through BBB, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, because those are a little bit more all-encompassing to all different industries. So a survey that we actually helped conduct by Wisconsin consumers last year found that 65% go to Google as a source of information for making large-scale purchases, followed by Amazon, Consumer Reports, and BBB. And again, I know we have a few people on from outside the state of Wisconsin. This is specific to consumers within the state of Wisconsin, not national data here. So those top 4 or 5 are really the big ones. Again, this is large scale purchases too. So maybe like you need a new roof, or you know, you're buying a new car, things like that, like the larger purchases. That's what this is based on here. And then actually just last week, there was some survey data released that found that Americans value an A+ BBB rating on a company's website more than 5-star ratings on Google, Facebook, or Yelp. So people really value the BBB rating. A lot of people, you know, tell me when I first meet them and I tell them I work for BBB, they say, oh, aren't they kind of old or irrelevant? I even, especially young people, say, oh, they're still around. I didn't even know you guys still existed. So don't get me wrong, we are old. We're over 108 years old, in fact, but the data really shows that we're more relevant now than ever. Especially right now during these crazy times, people are looking for information they can trust. And people believe that BBB is synonymous with trust. There's a huge aspect of trust. Trust matters to us, and trust is really synonymous with the Better Business Bureau name. So people are looking at our website and they're valuing that a lot. Again, this is Wisconsin alone, but we saw from, I'm trying to think, from about February to, well, I should say March to April, May, we saw a 80% jump in web traffic to our customer review pages. 80%. That's huge. It's unheard of. It's never happened before. I've been with BBB over 7 years now. I've never seen something like that drastic. So people are really, truly coming to us more now than ever before. All right, so let's talk about these specific review platforms. First, BBB Customer Reviews. Obviously, I'm more of an expert in that, so I'm going to talk about that, but I'm also going to talk about other review sites. So BBB reviews are verified, they're analyzed, validated, and shared. And we actually have human beings. So a lot of them are working from home, but some of them are here in the office with me today that look at these reviews. So real human beings, not just an algorithm looking at these reviews. And that's really the biggest differentiator for the BBB reviews. But we also, not only do we look at each customer review before we post it on our website publicly, we provide the business with an opportunity to challenge the identity of the reviewer. So I shouldn't say, sorry, sometimes I talk a little quicker than my mind thinks. So we will check and have to verify that the person who left the review is an actual person. So we have process of validating that. And then we also do provide the business with an opportunity to say, I did not do business with this person, and give us any proof if possible. We'll also ask, especially if the business said, I didn't do business with this person, this is not a legitimate reviewer, then we'll ask the consumer to provide documentation like a receipt or an invoice or something like that. So BBB really does strive to be the neutral third-party intermediary. So we're going in between the consumer and the business, and we're trying to work things out for you. We've had examples before, and I'm sure the people from other BBBs that are on can share some stories, but we've had examples such as, so there's this guy that's the business owner, and then he breaks up with his girlfriend, and it's, you know, not a great amicable breakup. And so the girlfriend ends up posting several negative reviews about the business. Has nothing to do with the business. She didn't even have like an actual business transaction or experience with the business. She's just angry at the person. So she's leaving these negative reviews. So that would never fly on bbb.org. We don't allow things like that to be posted. Another example is competition. Unfortunately, it still happens, has been happening for years, that your competitor, especially if you're in a smaller market, we see like fierce competitors come out and they'll leave negative reviews on your business, even though they didn't have any interaction with your business. They didn't have the transaction that BBB requires to happen. They just don't want you to have a 5-star review, so they're going to leave negative reviews. So those are unfortunate circumstances, but the Better Business Bureau does take a lot into consideration to try to mitigate any fake reviews or non-legitimate reviews. All right. So talking a little bit more about BBB numbers. So as I mentioned, we saw a huge, that 80% increase to customer review pages in Wisconsin. at the beginning of the pandemic, but we see about 14 million BBB customer reviews read each month on bbb.org. And then we see 106 million unique visitors per year. So that's unique, again, individual people, not repeat people coming to our website. All right, I'm going to talk super briefly, since we do have a lot of BBB accredited businesses here, about BBB Customer Review Generator. So this is specific to BBB Serving Wisconsin. I know other BBBs do it as well, but if you're an accredited business at another Better Business Bureau, you'd have to ask them if they provide this or not. But we provide Better Business Bureau Customer Review Generator tool. So this is free to all of our accredited businesses. And really, it's just a simple way for BBB accredited businesses to initially initiate a text message or an email. You can choose either or both, certainly, so that the customer can quickly and easily leave a review. So all you do is you go to this website that I have on the slide, or you can access this from your business profile as well if you're an accredited business. And then all you have to do is input here the name. Well, you don't even have to put their name in there, but it's nice to put their name in, and then put their cell phone number in there. All you have to do is click a button. It'll instantly send them a text message that'll say, hey, leave a review on XYZ business. And then you just click this button to do the same thing via email. Right now, this cannot be integrated with other review platforms. I saw that question asked. There are a lot, I'll be honest, there are a lot of review generator type programs, but a lot of them are quite expensive. So I've seen them for as little as $900 a year and as much as like $1,500 a year. They might be more, and certain ones can't integrate with certain platforms. But this is just something that we have from BBB free to our accredited businesses for you guys to use. So especially if you don't currently ask for reviews, or you only have a few reviews floating out there, this might be a great thing to take advantage of. All right, let's switch over to Google reviews. Again, I'm gonna provide everybody, actually, Erica, could you throw my email address in the chat function right now? So if people wanna follow up with me about BBB reviews, accreditation, any of that stuff, specific stuff, I'm having trouble with my business login, I'm here to help you guys, so don't hesitate. Thank you. So Erica just put my email address in the chat function, so feel free to ask me if you have other specific questions about BBB or BBB reviews. But shifting over to Google reviews. So verifying your business on Google is very important. If you haven't already done that, you need to do it now. And you have to verify your business so that your information is eligible to appear on maps, in search, and other Google services, not to mention so that you can manage your reviews, you can manage the listing of your business hours, your address, all that good stuff, your phone number. And only verified businesses can respond to customer reviews. So I can't tell you how many times I've seen businesses who all of a sudden, maybe even years later, see a review on Google floating out there on their business and they had no idea. You have to make sure that your business is verified and that you have the ownership. Most importantly, you have the ownership of your Google My Business profile. After signing into Google My Business, you can click on Get More Reviews, and that will give you a short URL that you can share with your customers to help to generate Google reviews for your business. You also have the option to flag inappropriate reviews. We got this question earlier. I said I'd talk about it. So you can, I put on here, when should you flag a customer review as inappropriate? So Google's policy says it has to be either the review is not relevant to this place. BBB gets that a lot. I can't tell you how many times somebody gives us a 1-star review and says, Tom's car mechanic is terrible because they messed up my car and blah, blah, blah. It has nothing to do with the BBB. They left a 1-star review about Tom's car mechanic, but they're just complaining to BBB via this forum. It happens all the time. It's really frustrating because I'm the one who manages this for our BBB, so it's frustrating to me. But what I do is I mark it, I flag it as inappropriate, and I say this review is not relevant to this place. That's the first option you have there. Second, a conflict of interest. So we could talk about that for a while. There's lots of opportunities for conflict of interest. Say it's a competitor, that might be a good one for that. If your competitor is just posting negative reviews on your business, that's not okay. So you can flag it as a conflict of interest. If it's offensive or sexually explicit, if it's a privacy concern, or if there's a legal issue, so you've got a pending legal case, something like that, Google allows you to keep that in the courts, in the courtroom, and offline. So those are some options with Google reviews. All right, really quick, Yelp. Again, very important for you to claim your business page. Yelp too, I see a lot of people, sometimes people can create Google pages or, you know, say something about your business, but you have to make sure you claim it and you own it, because that's your business and that's the only way that you're going to be able to respond to reviews on Yelp. Just like Google, you have to make sure that you claim your business page in order to respond to reviews. You can also get a link from your Yelp page to add in your email signature to get more customer reviews on that page. And you can respond to reviews with a public comment or a direct message. So sometimes what we do at BBB too, if somebody's really going back and forth with us a lot about something, we try to take it offline, out of the public forum, and either direct message with them if that's what they prefer, or we encourage them to email us or call us so we can engage in a longer conversation. Some of these issues are complicated and you really need to have a back and forth dialogue, and just going back and forth on a public forum is not always the best thing. So that's kind of about some Yelp reviews. So let's go to Facebook too. So you can and should respond to any reviews on your Facebook page. And as I mentioned earlier, you cannot delete individual reviews or even flag them as inappropriate, but you can disable all reviews on your page. So we actually did this because we were having the same problem we have on Google. Every single Facebook review we had, this was years ago, was about another business. It was just somebody complaining about another business. It had nothing to do with the BBB. So we decided what was best for us is to disable all reviews. That's not necessarily going to be the same thing for you. And it might even be detrimental to you if you have a really good active Facebook page and people are more likely to post reviews there. It's going to be important to keep that there and keep that dialogue, the consumer review and in your response in there. So you just kind of have to gauge what's best for your specific business when it comes to Facebook. And as with all social media platforms, make sure to keep your Facebook page up to date. I've seen this again too with a lot of small business owners, especially if it's just you. It's too much. It's too much to keep up with your Google reviews and your Yelp and your BBB, and you're probably overwhelmed right now. Well, sometimes it's best to not have those platforms. So keep an eye on Facebook maybe and see if people are talking about your business, but it might not be the best thing for you. And I know that goes against a lot of things because social media is great. It's a free way to promote your business. But if you don't have the time to really take care and keep it up to date and post things at least, a couple times a week, it might not be a good thing for you. So you just, again, it's like anything else. You have to just decide, is this what's best for my business, or is it better to spend my time and focus somewhere else? All right, to your website. So this is another opportunity. A lot of people have the opportunity to put in a request for quote, a contact page, or reviews right in your website. And just a couple notes here on websites in general. It's really your online identity. So this is your opportunity to give potential customers a positive first impression of your business. 75%, another stat here. I like stats, I like facts. It helps to prove the point, right? 75% of consumers admit that they judge a business's credibility based on their website design. So make sure that it's aesthetically pleasing as well as user-friendly. If web design maybe isn't your forte, work with a trustworthy business partner to help. I know I can recommend a few BBB accredited businesses for sure. If you're a roofing contractor, for example, nobody expects you, especially to be amazing at web design. Maybe it's a hobby, maybe you are, but people can't be great at everything. So it's important to work with trustworthy business partners in order to make sure that your website is up to date and as pretty and user-friendly as possible. All right, little summary here, perfect timing. Has the coffee kicked in? I know mine has. You can probably tell I'm jazzed. I'm excited about this stuff. This stuff is really important to me, and I love helping small businesses. So hopefully I'm helping you guys today. That's my goal. So some of the things we talked about, lots of stats. I gave you a ton of percentages, lots of facts on customer reviews. Obviously, they matter a lot. If you don't know that by now, you probably weren't listening. We talked about how to manage and respond to reviews. It's important to be genuine, be nice, just as you'd want any business or any other human to be with you. Be kind, be nice to people. And we talked about how to ask for customer reviews. So first of all, just ask, educate yourself on all the review platforms and what might be best for your business, and share. Just ask people, share things, put stickers places, try to promote it on your website. Ask people for reviews, especially if they come to you and they say, hey, thank you. You guys did a great job. You're like, you're welcome. Can you leave a review? You know, we'd love for other people to hear about your experience. And then we talked specifically about the different, a couple different of the many review platforms, including BBB, of course, Yelp, Google, and Facebook. All right, so with that, we've got about 7 minutes left. I really appreciate your time and attention today. As I mentioned, Erica put my email address in there in the chat function. If you have any questions right now, please start putting those in the chat pane. I'll go to Erica too, because there might have been some I missed out on earlier. But if you have any follow-up questions, if you missed something, if you have other questions about BBB, or if you want to give me feedback on the presentation today, I know I was going kind of fast. I was trying to fit a lot of information in a short period of time. But don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have questions or you want me to go through a couple other things. Myself, Erica, all of us here at BBB are here to help you. So we want to know how we can support you in all small businesses in Wisconsin and nationwide. I know, like I mentioned, I've got a couple of my friends and colleagues from other Better Business Bureaus here. So you guys, thanks for joining us. And if you need anything from me or have questions, let me know. And hopefully we can help. So with that, let's see. Oh, thanks, Ryan. Some positive feedback. Leave a review. Just kidding. You don't need to leave a review about this, but that's a great opportunity. If somebody tells you thank you, tell them, ask them to leave a review. So Erica, it looks like we don't have a ton of questions coming in right now, but is there anything that I missed earlier, that questions that came in?
We had one question from Kathy asking about, if somebody doesn't have a computer or a mobile device that they can use to leave a review, what might be a good alternative if they want to give you like a written review or a verbal review?
Yeah, so that's a good question. One of the things that you could do on your website is if somebody gives you like a testimonial. So you'll see on a lot of people's websites, they have testimonial pages. So if somebody doesn't have a computer, you could ask them for a written review, either via postcard or just have them jot something down, however you'd like to do it, and then post it as a testimonial on your website. So even though they might not have a computer, you can still have that posted in a public forum. Again, you get into ethical gray areas if you're fudging the testimonial a little bit, or, oh, I don't really like how they said that, so I'm just going to change it. If you do that and they approve it and they say, yes, that's fine, that's great. They approved that testimonial, but be very careful of just making up testimonials, making up customers. That is not a good plan. You'll get into a lot of trouble that way. But yeah, there are definitely ways that you can ask for and make use of customer reviews if people don't have a computer or mobile device. Any other questions that I didn't get to earlier?
Just asking if we'll be sharing the presentation with everyone today.
Yes, and actually I can right now, I have a PDF version of the presentation that I was sharing with you guys. So I'll send you that. I did try to make the slides a little more text heavy than I usually would in order to give you guys all that information. So right now I just posted the PDF of all the slides. So go ahead and grab that now if you'd like it. And I'm also happy to share this recording with everybody here today. If you guys want that, I am recording it so that I can share that with you guys as well. So if you missed anything, you can look over. Again, sorry for going so fast, but I wanted to jam pack everything in here today. So more than happy to go over some specifics. And if you have questions about your industry, or certainly I didn't have time today to get into all the review platforms. If you have a specific industry that a lot of businesses in your industry use a particular platform, we can talk more about that too. I'm also happy to help formulate responses. You know, we can't tell you what to say or exactly how to respond, but I can give you some of these tips. You know, sometimes it's nice to just have somebody to call to kind of vent to, especially if you're a small business owner and you're getting very frustrated and flustered, and you have a really, frankly, annoying customer that's making you angry. Maybe just giving me a call or calling somebody and talking it through to kind of help you calm down, and then you can get your business face on and you can respond appropriately. But it's totally understandable that you're going to be flustered and angry when you get a negative review or complaint, but rest assured it happens all the time, and if you respond appropriately, it can actually be a good thing for your business. All right. Michael, thank you. 5 stars. All right. I love the ratings for this this presentation. I love it. And happy to give these presentations too. So if you guys belong to networking groups or other organizations, I've done presentations like this for I'm trying to think, for entrepreneurs or people who are looking at starting their own business, because obviously your online reputation is really important, especially when you're first starting a business. So if you like the presentation and you want me to give this same presentation elsewhere, feel free to follow up with me. I'm more than happy to do that. All right. I think that's it. A lot of thank yous. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate you being here with us today. Like I mentioned at the beginning, I know there's tons of these webinars and video chats and phone calls that you make all day, every day. So I really appreciate you taking the time to be with us today. Hopefully it was beneficial information for you, and you can take some of this as tangible stuff that you can go and implement later on today or later this week. So with that, I'll end here right on time. Thank you, Erica, for all your help here today. Thank you, everybody, for attending. Don't hesitate, like I said, to follow up with me if you have questions, if you have concerns, if you want to know more about BBB accreditation, or you just need to vent because somebody left an annoyingly negative review. I'm here for all of the above. So thank you so much for joining us today. And with that, I hope you have a great day. Bye all. Take care.